that sense, Hydra is this many-headed serpent, which is likened to the status of education in the modern society, wherein education has multiple sources and not just like formal education per se. So multiple sources of education look like your parents are also like a source of, they're an influence group, your peers, infotainment in the form of like Netflix documentaries or YouTube. All of those are sources of education. Wherever you learn from, they're basically sources of education. So the debate is going to be on them. How should we simplify education? Do we need to simplify education? What is the purpose of education? What should it be like from the parents' perspective, the educator's perspective, from the student's perspective, those kind of things. So probe into that, like study about academia in general. What is it like in India? How is it different from the courses available abroad? Why do people choose to do their higher education abroad? So those kind of things will give you perspective, which is important because emotions are related to this. All right. With that, there's not much in the orientation that's left. So I'm just quickly going to answer questions. For those who put in the chat, I'm not taking any verbal questions, so please put in the chat. Quickly coming back to the question and responding. What time is the session till? 6 to 6:30 was orientation. So by 6:30, you can drop. Even before that, if the orientation is over. And from 6:30 onwards, only people who are participating in the dramatic adaptation format are requested to stay back for format and understanding the format. The training for that is today. You said that qualifiers will be on 17th for pay students, but we do have a classes on 17th. If you have your classes on 17th, that's all right. That's taken care. If you're participating in the speech formats, you will have to take the day off because it's like the speech formats will be held in the like earlier in the day, and WSDC will happen from 4:30 p.m. onwards. So please manage accordingly. One day you will have to probably just be available. Okay. Are you going to upload the recording of the meeting on the WhatsApp group? Yes. Kindly confirm the date for round B as it's mentioned 24th June. 25th, it's 25th. Will you be posting a recording of this meeting? Yes. Do all teammates have to register for the same qualifiers date? Yes, obviously. You can't be registering separately if you want to be a team, otherwise you won't be given the same team if you have different date preferences. Will recording? Yeah, recordings will be shared. I had a clarification that is humanizing education a topic for the debates, or is there some other topic to be given? If humanizing education is not a topic, then when will we be getting it? Humanizing education is not a topic, it's a theme. A theme is different from a topic. A theme is a broad understanding of what this tournament is about, whereas your motion is very specific. So your topic will change in every round of the qualifiers, but the theme remains the same. So topics are yet to be shared. They will be shared in due time. Please don't worry about that. All right. The Greek theme is for all formats? Yes. Not clear what is the relevance of the theme. The relevance of the theme is that the Hydra is a multi-headed serpent, just like education, which has a lot of sources now. So think of Hydra as like education, likened to education. Hydra is both exciting and fear-inducing because of how it has many heads, but it can also be like, it can be both useful and dangerous because of those reasons. It's a very mixed sort of a creature in Greek mythology. So you have to make sense of it. Are multiple sources of education good? Are they bad? If there are a lot of sources, how do we prioritize one over the other? Do we need to prioritize at all? So think about that. Think about the imagery of Hydra and think about education and how it's linked. So Hydra, for those of you who understand, is like a metaphor for education. I hope most of you understand metaphor like at least grade 9th upwards. So yeah. I'm not sure which format I chose. Okay, let me get back to that. What will be the timings of the qualifiers on 17 June? If you are in the speech format, it's going to be it's going to happen earlier in the day. If you are in the WSDC format, it's going to happen later in the day. Would we be getting the actual topic in the master class? No. What is the dramatic adaptation format? I'll explain in the rest of the time that session that we have. I'm not sure which one I chose. Okay. So when exactly will you give the topic of the speech debate? It will come in due time. You will get the topics. Please don't worry too much about it. Those kids who are a part of WSGC, what time should they join tomorrow? 6:45 p.m.
by name.
Hello, I am participating in the debate. I have opted for the 25th, but my teammate has. If your teammates are opting for different dates, it's going to be very difficult for us to put you in the same team. It's probably going to have to be different teams then. So, I mean, now if your teammate has already entered the preference, I don't think the preference can be changed either. So it's a problem. I mean, you can't have a different date if you want to be the same team. When is the training for WSDC? Tomorrow, 6:45 p.m. onwards. What will be the topic for turncoat? Yes, topics will be shared. Please don't ask any questions about topics. I'm not sure which one I chose before, so I can change the format now.
Basket last.
I don't think changing formats is allowed. Nisha, you're unmuted. You're all right. When and where will the qualifiers be held? Okay, qualifiers will be held on Zoom, online, on 17th and 25th. We are supposed to be there on 17th if you opted for 17th, and 20, and if you opted for 25th, then you're not supposed to be there on 17th, you'll be there on 25th. I called the number on the website and asked them to change my date, and they said they would get it changed. How can I? Okay, that will be sorted on a personal level. Reach out to the number again. How will teams be divided? They will be divided by the team if you haven't given any preferences. What's the timing of the WSDC format on 17 June? 4:30 p.m. onwards. Are we allowed to choose teammates for WSDC now? Please ask on the Hello Ogri number about teammates and those kind of questions. If we are going for WSDC, how will we get a teammates, or are we supposed to choose? You could have chosen while you were registering. Please reach out to Hello Ogri number if you have any confusion about who your teammates are going to be. When will we get to know our topics? Shortly. So Hydra is the theme. Yep. Not sure which one I chose before. So no changing of anything, guys. Now you can't keep changing because it changes the entire structure of the program, which has already been designed. So no changing business now. Like whichever date you're on, whichever format you're in, whichever team you will be with, you will be with them. Are we supposed to stay in this meeting if we choose to turncoat? No. Is Hydra the theme or humanizing education? Both. So humanizing education with the Greek reference of Hydra. That's what it means. I have chosen WSDC, so I don't need to stay for the dramatic adaptation today, right? Yeah, right. Till when do the WSDC students have to stay? You don't have to stay at all. You can leave. You have to join tomorrow at 6:45. Will we get to know the topic one day before the qualifiers? Yeah, you'll get it before the day of the qualifiers, for sure. Ma'am, what is timing for WSDC as I have classes from 5 to 18? No, I think you will have to take the day off because at that time the qualifiers will be on. It's in the evening. Till when do the WSDC students have to stay? You don't have to stay today at all. What is the timing for WSDC? Okay, this is done. Can you please explain it is indicating towards EdTech revolution? It could be anything regarding education. So I can ask you about private public schools. I can ask you about the role of technology in education. I can ask you about parents, child dynamic. I can ask you about anything with education. As long as it's related to education, you might get a topic on it. If a team qualifies in WSDC, okay, the members in the team qualify or what? All the members in the team qualify or what? Yeah. The entire team qualifies or nobody does. Is Hydra the theme or human? It's the same. Okay, I think now the questions are repeating. So let me see. What is the timing? Is there a list published for who participated in what? No, there is no list as such. When is the qualifying round for WSDC on 17 June? Qualifying round, if you are, depends on the format you're in. So if you're in the speech format, it's early in the day. If you're in the debate format, then it's later in the day, 4 p.m. onwards. I'm just scrolling through the questions to see if there is anything that hasn't been answered once. If you're individual, you will be given a team. Don't worry, Piyush. If you have taken 2 formats, you attend classes for 2 formats. As simple as that. Aditya. If you have any class, then you have to drop the class on those days at least because the qualifiers will be on, guys. So You don't have to post your video, you will be doing it live for dramatic adaptation in any other format. Hydra does not have to be talked about in your format. This is a good question. Just because the theme says Hydra, it doesn't mean that you have to insert Hydra everywhere. You don't have to mention Hydra in all of your speeches. It's just like a way of making the theme exciting, okay? So it's not like you have to use it everywhere. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. This is where I will end the WSDC, I'm sorry, the orientation program, and I will start with dramatic adaptation. Okay, and whoever wants to drop now can drop. If you're not in dramatic adaptation, please leave the meeting. I am just responding to questions. If you want to listen to the answers, then you can stay back. Otherwise, you can leave. The topic for mock trials.
Ma'am,
No, put it in the chat. The topic for mock trials, when will we get them on the same day during? Mocks are not for everybody. So we will have discussion in the class. It does not mean that you will be given any like topics or something. So it's a very like class-based thing for which you don't have to prep. Is speech and debate different for 17 June? Yes. For a first-time debater in WHGC, we will be informed about the different parts, right? Yes, yes. Training will cover everything, don't worry, Ria. The topic for mock trials, when will we get them on the same day during the meeting or before? Okay, this is done. This is also done. If you have taken debate, you don't have to stay, Pratham, you can leave. Classes tomorrow are from 6 p.m. onwards. Please join then. Anya. Yeah, same theme for WSDC. That's right. Ishita. How many teams will be selected? We will let you know. Okay, I think I've cleared all the questions. It's just a repeat now. Please lower your hands. I'm not taking questions verbally due to some constraints. Please put in the chat. All right, quickly give me a show of hands if you are not in the dramatic adaptation format. Quick. So you're not. 28, 29 people and rising, 34. Okay, keep going, 38. Okay, in which case, 40 of you can leave the class, the session now, because the orientation has ended and you can join when your format is being discussed. So if you're in Turncoat, you join tomorrow at 6 till 6:45. If you are in WSDC, you join from 6:45 to 7:30. If you're in both, you join from 6 to 7:30, proper 1.5 hours training for both the formats. So whoever has their hand raised, can you please leave the call because you're not in dramatic adaptation? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. All right, 44 of you here. Are all of you in dramatic adaptation? Quickly give me a show of hands. I don't want anybody to be. All those who are, if you are in dramatic adaptation, give me a show of hands quickly. All of you. Only 14. What about the rest of you? Quickly, guys, 17. More of you. What about others? Aryan, Aditya, Asim, Bhavika, Devshri. What about you guys? Vaishali, Janvi, Joshua, Mridula. Guys, please respond. If you're in the dramatic adaptation format, stay back. If you're not, please leave the call so that people who are in the dramatic adaptation format have the forum to themselves to ask questions and understand the format with less number of people in the call. Sukriti Gupta, Ritvika, Juhi. What about you guys?
Ma'am, actually, I had a question which I've put it in the chat box. So,
Okay, you can unmute and ask now.
ma'am, for WSDC, is a team needed? If yes, how many members should be in one team?
At least
Because
at least three members. We will give you those teammates. Don't worry.
because while registering, there was no option to write or choose the team members. So,
Yeah, we will give you the teammates. That's okay.
okay, yes, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I'm starting.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I just joined 5 minutes ago because I think I saw the message late. Can I?
Which
Is it,
format are you from?
the speech thing? I think the dramatic adaptation.
All right. So you joined quite timely. We are starting with the training for dramatic adaptation. Whatever you
Okay,
missed in the
thanks.
last half an hour can be uh like revised through the recording that we will share. Is that all right?
Okay, thanks.
All right. Okay. Let's begin. For dramatic adaptation, let me just quickly take you through the format, what we expect, what it's going to be like. If you want to be on camera, you can come on camera now because this is particularly for you. And I want to see that everybody is attentive and like eager to learn. So yeah, and lower your hands, guys. It's okay. I know now that most of you are from DA now. Yeah. Cool. So for those of you who are in dramatic adaptation, first of all, let's discuss the theme in detail, right? And after that, let's discuss how the theme will be related to your format. Whenever you don't understand something, show me the hand emoji and I will ask you to unmute and only then you will unmute. Is that understood? All right. So basically the Hydra snare, right? Although I have already like briefed you about the theme in the orientation, quickly taking you over it like in a more simplified manner. Hydra snare has two words, right? Hydra and snare. So first look at snare. What does snare mean? Just like something that is not like restricting you, right? It's a snare when you are giving into somebody else's persuasion, although it's not like a good thing to be persuaded by. Or a snare is just basically when you are like coiled up because of which you cannot do what you want to. So snare generally has a negative connotation, which is what this particular flowchart is trying to also indicate, right? So snare means that you are caught up, you're confused, you want resolution, but you can't find it because you are ensnared. Uh, but how is a snare related to the hydra? That's an important question to ask because both of these words have been used together. So just understanding what snare means is not enough. It's also important to understand what hydra is because not many people are familiar with Greek mythology. So hydra is Greek mythology figure. Just like in Hindu mythology, you have um, a lot of like animal figures, right? A lot. Can you guys give me some examples from Hindu mythology? Do we have any like animals who we worship or like think of as sacred?
Gauri?
All right. How is Gauri? It's a cow, right?
Yeah, cow.
Yeah, cow. Yes. Okay, that's a good example. What else?
Nandi?
Okay, good. Yes. Naga. Yes.
There's Makara, which is a river god.
Oh, all right. Okay, I wasn't aware, but that's good to know. All right. So basically, somebody said Naga, right? I think that's the closest representation of what Hydra is for Greeks. So like we have Naga, right? I don't know which mythological text this is from, I'm forgetting. But Hydra is like this figure. Okay. So Hydra is also a many-headed serpent, which I think Naga is also. So many-headed means that one of the head is like immortal. It cannot be like defeated. It cannot be killed because of that one head. The rest of the heads are like mortal. So the many heads mean the like many sources of education. So consider if these were the heads, like because I can't draw a many-headed serpent, I don't have artistic skills. I'll just tell you if these are the five heads or like more even. It has mostly nine heads, I think. So in that case, this could be the parents, this could be the teachers, this could be YouTube, this could be podcasts, this could be documentaries, and this could be your life experiences. All of these are sources of learning. Do you guys agree? So life experiences are a source of learning. Today, if you have a fight with somebody and you get hurt, next time it teaches you to not fight again. That's life experiences. Teaching by like teachers are a source of education, of course, because they teach you in formal settings through books. Parents are also a source of education because they are the primary influence group that teach you how to behave in a society. They are the people through which you learn language, and through their like guidance in the earlier at least 3 years of your life, all that you get is from the parents. And then even afterwards, parents have an influence in your life. And then your friends, right? The peers, they also teach you stuff. So like if my friend is doing well, I'm likely to be influenced by that. If my friend is into like literature, classical literature, or like K-pop, I'm also likely to be like that. So they all of these people teach us, right? This means that that education can be compared to a hydra, or what somebody called like Naga from like a Hindu mythology perspective. Do you guys understand the relevance of the theme now as to what it like wants you to understand? Just write yes in the chat box if you understand. All of you. And those of you who do not understand, please feel free to ask questions. Okay, I am assuming there are no questions. Now that the flowchart is understood, please look at the pointers given below. Umar, can you read the first point for everybody out loud? Any volunteers who want to just participate? Jaydev, yes.
Um, Understanding the theme is crucial to be able to deal with emotions.
What do you think this means?
Um,
Yeah.
so, so the theme which has been provided to us for this dramatic adaptation speech, which is of course the Hydra snare. So, as you said, the Hydra snare has various heads which represent the various methods of education that students are receiving in their formative years in the present. So this theme, it really sets a deep understanding on on how we are supposed to deal with the motions. For example, so so emotion, I would say, in this context is how for is you are outright asked whether you think that there can be too many methods of education or too many sources of understanding be harmful instead of useful to a child's development. And so you can definitely apply the theme of the Hydra snare in order to explain.
Right. You're right. That's a perfect analysis of what this means. So you have a theme, it's Hydra snare. This does not mean that in every topic you have to talk about snakes. That's not what I want you to do. Hydra snare is only a means of understanding. If I told you that, oh, we are talking about the multifarious nature of education, it's more difficult to understand than when I give you the image of Hydra, right? That's the only purpose. So Hydra, the image of Hydra, first of all, is to make the theme exciting, but secondly, to make it simpler to understand. If I say multifarious, it's very difficult. But when I talk about many-headed serpent, it suddenly automatically makes sense to the most like uncritical person. So that's what Hydra snare is for. Please do not think of it as like this burden on you to use the serpent in every motion that you talk about. You don't have to refer to Hydra at all if you don't want to. That's not what we want. Okay. Secondly, your motions are based on theme, which means that if you start researching a little bit on education, the quality of education, how are teachers paid in rural areas, what is the life of teachers like, what do teachers want, why do teachers go on strike, what do children want, are homeworks good, those kind of questions. If you start googling it, if you start using like some like research ability to understand the theme, you will also be able to understand the motions or topics you will be getting shortly. So please start doing that. All right. Moving on. But now coming on to the dramatic adaptation format in particular. This format is an individual
I
event.
have a doubt.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
So, ma'am, do we have to concentrate on only one head of the serpent, or do we have to talk about all the heads, or all the,
Like I said,
like the parents?
some
teacher-
motions you won't even have to talk about all the heads. We will tell you the head to talk, which head you're supposed to talk about. So you
Okay.
have to like stick to this image of a hydra. Okay, it's only to make you understand the theme. It's not related to the topics.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, your question. Please put your question in the chat. I think there's some internet issue. So look at this. Dramatic adaptation is an individual event. All right. Individual event as in no teams. When this and now how does this go? You've registered. What happens next? Next thing you will get after registration is your topic. Okay, you get your topic. This will happen today itself. When you get your topic, you have to prepare on that topic, but the person you are going to speak as will come to you later through matchups. Okay, so this will not be revealed to you anytime soon. Like
So
who
we
you
don't
are.
get to choose the person?
No, you don't get to choose the person. The topic will be given now. The profile of the person will be given later. Somebody is unmuted. Mute yourself. Shivansh, mute yourself. Okay, Shivansh is muted.
Ciao, Papa.
So for elimination, we'll have to speak on the same topic?
No. Okay, I'm explaining, right? So you will be given the topics. You have 3 rounds in qualifiers. This means there's like a round 1, round 2, and round 3. You will get different profiles, like different people and different topics in each round. For example, in first round, my topic might be education. My topic might be homework should be banned. That's like the topic. Homework should be banned. But the profile that I have is Gandhi. So I have to talk about homework and what Gandhi might have said about like homework. Do you get it? But I might get another topic in round 2, which might be that private schools should be banned. But this time I might not be an Indian personality. I might be Edison, right? Thomas Edison. So what would he say about things? So the moment you have to understand what people, who are the popular people who have talked about education, who have philosophized about what education should be like, right? So those kind of things. You will get a different topic and different profile in every round. I hope that's clear. Cool.
Yes, thank you.
So for juniors, this is going to be slightly different because you are going to speak for a duration which is different for from the other categories. Junior category speaks for only 3 minutes on the given topic as a certain profile, right? Middle category has the same drill, same thing. Just the topics will be different. The profile might be the same, but 4-minute speeches. Okay. And for seniors, your topics will definitely be more difficult because you're seniors and the people might be the same and the speeches will be 5 minutes. All right. Okay. Now look at this. Your profiles will be released only 1 day before the tournament. So if your qualifiers are on 17th, profile comes out on 16th. If your qualifiers are on 25th, profile comes out on 24th. Topics for juniors will be released with the profiles. So only for juniors, okay, because they're too young, we will release topics and profiles all at the same time. Middle and senior categories will receive the topic 2 hours before the event. This means that today, the topics will be released only for the junior category and the middle and senior category will receive their topics also only 2 hours before. Am I making myself clear? So right now, middle and senior
Those 2
category,
hours, I have to make the speech, right?
right? But you can start reading up on things already, which this will give you perspective. Okay.
So for the middle and senior grades, the profile will be released 1 day before, and the topics 2 hours before, right?
Yeah, that's right. Cool. More about dramatic adaptation, as in what is it that you need to keep in mind to be scored well, things of that kind. Dramatic adaptation, as the name suggests, dramatic, is a theatrical tinge, has a theatrical tinge, right? This means that you can definitely like dress up as the person, or like try to mimic them in terms of voice modulation, trying to sound like them. So if you're given the profile of Edison, you probably want to have a look at what Edison looked like, the kind of how he used to pronounce perhaps, or like voice modulation, those kind of things will fetch you marks in manners, in manner.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I am in WSDC, so what should I do?
Leave this call, join tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
For this tournament, you will be expected to present your stance on a statement given beforehand, but not as yourself. Like I said, this is already explained. You have to present your stance as a person. This is very important. Sometimes people just remember the topic, but they forget that they're also dressed up as somebody. You have to keep both the things in mind, the topic and the person you are representing. You're not supposed to give your opinion on the topic. You're supposed to give the person's opinion on the topic whose profile you have been given. It's different. I might think homework should not be banned, but if Mahatma Gandhi would have been the kind of person who said homework should be banned, then I should talk about it as Gandhi ji. And I should also like explain why I think Gandhi ji would have like wanted wanted homework to be done away with. Like, what is the logic? Why do you think?
Excuse me, ma'am.
No, not right, not like this. When I'm done with the explanation, please put your question in the chat. Okay, your statement will be related to education. Statement is the topic, okay? Like I said, always education related. So it could also be like an example is gamification of learning. Should we teach students like numbers, tables, language through games, video games, because people like to play games? So it's better to learn through them, those kind of questions. Okay. Now, how can you like, who are the people whose profile you might get? These will be famous people for sure, but you might not have heard of them before. So you can research on them, right? A little bit, like who are they? What were they like? What were their thoughts? And then you're supposed to represent your views on education according to what these people were like. So some background research is required to understand these people. All right. For example, you could be given the profile of Bhagat Singh because he was highly educated for his time and he was a radical. So he is very closely related to education because of how he had a very like, so he used to read a lot and everything. But Thomas Edison and Bill Gates are also like maybe people who you can get as profiles because they are related to like not having formal educational background but still being very successful. So whoever has like a lot of um, relation to the field of education in their life and whoever is popular for what their education was like might be the person you get for your profile. All right. Now, this is an example, right? Your profile might, let's say your profile is that you are supposed to represent Greta Thunberg and your topic is role of education in environmental preservation. Then you are supposed to speak as Greta Thunberg. This means that if I might say that, okay, education cannot play a role in environment preservation because people don't enjoy classes on environment. They don't understand the gravity of the situation when they only read about it. It's important for people to understand global warming through like personal experience, and personal experience cannot be given through classes. That is why education is not a good source to explain environment. But that is your thoughts. What is Greta Thunberg likely to say? Can anybody guess?
I remember, I think it was her. She put a campaign that she stopped going to school on certain days until they tried to do something about the environment. I think it was her.
I feel like Greta wouldn't take I feel like Greta wouldn't take small steps to achieve her goal. She'd take very big steps, and because she thinks of herself as a very powerful person.
Yeah. So stop
And
attending
I
school is
also
one
had a
thing that
doubt.
somebody told.
So
Just
if
one second. Just one second. So I mean, not attend school because nobody takes care of education in this, environment in the educational space. This means that Greta Thunberg definitely thinks that education can help in leading to environmental preservation, right? That's why she is like resisting school so that they can change. This means that if you are Greta Thunberg, then you're going to say that yes, education has a role in environmental preservation, or even if your personal thoughts are different. Also, guys, quick clarification. Sorry about the error earlier. Uh, Seniors will speak for 6 minutes, not 5 minutes. 6 minutes. All right. Yeah, there was a question.
Yeah, so I was asking if, for instance, I get Bhagat Singh. So do I have to talk if I get Bhagat Singh and if I get equality in education? So do I have to talk about equality during his time, or do I have to talk about it, what he'll think about it now? Like
Okay,
during
that's a
our
good
time?
question. That's a good question. You're supposed to talk about, okay, you're always supposed to debate about what they would say now. Because see, if your topic is gamification, then gamification did not even exist during like Edison's time or Einstein's time, right? People didn't play video games then. So it's impossible for you to talk about it in their times. You're supposed to say that if they were alive today, what would they say about the things that are happening today? Am I making sense?
Yes.
All right. Now there is another good question in the chat. We'll be speaking in the first person POV or third person POV. You can speak in, you're speaking as that person. So first person. All right. You're even like you are also mimicking that person. So you can sound like them, you can look like them, you can use props. It's literally like a theatrical display. So it's definitely first person. You might even be down marked going third person. Okay. So look, like this is an example from the dramatic adaptation that we had in some other tournament as a format. This person dressed as Sadhguru. So it's showing, right? They look like Sadhguru. And then their topic could be spirituality and education. That's what it's going to be like. All right. So moving on. Now, yeah.
So when we are going to get the topics, are we going to get topics just related to education, or are the topics going to be like necessarily about what the person was involved with in education?
No, not just the person. You're going to talk about that person in terms of their opinion on education, nothing else. You can't say Gandhiji was a believer on non-violence just like that. Sure, non-violence was a principle, but it does not apply to education, right? So you can't talk about any random topic that the person believed in. All
So I
right.
mean, like if there's some significant figure in education, so are the topics going to be about what their contribution or what they were relevant to in the case of
Topic is
education?
going to be very general. No. Topic is going to be very general because the topic will be the same for everybody. It's just the profile that will change. Topic will be same for everybody in a round. The profiles will change. Do you get me?
Yes.
All right. Now, adjudicators, judges, what will they mark you on? This is very important, okay? So when we share the PDF, you might want to also go through this and properly look at this so that you can score like a full 10 on 10, 10 on 10 in each of these. Definitely your matter gets marked. So like matter involves what is the content of your speech? What are you saying? How is what you're saying relevant to the topic and the side? So if I give you topic gamification, but you don't even talk about gamification, you just keep talking about the profile, then it's bad. But if you only talk about gamification but not refer to the person that you are, then it's bad as well. So it has to be a balance of your profile and the topic you are given. You're not supposed to forget one of these. It'll cost you. Quality of arguments and examples is another thing that you will be marked on. Some people might give just one argument with no example and their speech in like 30 seconds. They will not be marked well because they did not try to cover a lot, right? So try to have a couple of arguments and try to time yourself so that you know how many arguments you can run in like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or 6 minutes, depending on the category you come from. Okay. Manner now. Manner also has equal marks, 10 marks. Manner is very important though in dramatic adaptation. Manner includes your eye contact and how much you look like that person, resemblance. Use of props will help you. You have to be animated. This means that you can't just speak, okay, like very as if you're like just bored, like a regular person. You have to bring some sort of like a character into who you are. So try to talk like them, try to take pauses like they do, try to watch videos of these people if they are alive and if we have their videos on YouTube to see how they talked, to like get closer to those things, etc. All right. Now the method. Method means, are you following a logic? Are you just using arguments, jumping from one argument to the other? Or are you taking the time to complete an argument and then move to the other one, right? Is the profile being followed, or have you forgotten the profile in the process of like just excitement? Are you making the claims that the people in the profile are likely to make? That's another important thing. You could be saying all the right things, but the problem is that you don't explain why this profile would think like you're saying they do. Then you will again be down marked. You could be saying that, look, education is very important and formal education is very important, and without formal education nobody can be successful. But Einstein won't say that, right? Because Einstein didn't have formal education, yet he was able to like be the biggest innovator of his time. This means that Einstein would definitely not say that formal education is God. You might think like that, but Einstein will not. So you will be down marked if you don't like keep in mind that your profile might think otherwise. Cool.
I have another doubt. I'm so sorry.
No. Doubts are fine. I'm happy to take doubts. We have a lot of time left as well.
So, is it going to be on Zoom, the meeting, or will it be one-on-one?
It's going to be Zoom with
But
all of you
if
present.
it's Zoom, then, for instance, if I go first, and if another person goes after me, won't the other people be able to take use my props or use what I said into their speech?
Okay, no, that can't happen, right? Because the topic is same, but Einstein is very different from Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi cannot copy Einstein's speech because
Huh.
Einstein is a different person.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Not like that. Wait, is the question clear? Whoever asked me this question about copying. Okay, Angad, yes. Shivansh.
Yes, I have a doubt that here, I mean, I forgot. Can I just think for
Yeah, sure,
remember
sure.
for a second?
Sure. Ananya?
Yeah, I have three doubts. So, what does quality of arguments and examples mean?
Quality of arguments basically, see, one person says that formal education is important because it helps you get a job. Another way of saying the same thing is to say that formal education is important because not only because it helps you get a job, but it also gives you the degrees that the market calls for. This means that even if you lose your one job, you can go to another because you have formal education. If you don't have formal education, then you have to constantly prove yourself to each company you go in. So both of them say the same argument, but whose is more convincing, Aranya? The second one, right?
Yeah,
So that is quality. How much are you able to analyze?
yes. Can I ask two more doubts?
Yes.
So, do I have to have the speech or can we read?
You can't read. See, when you read the speech, you run the risk of being down marked. So try to like write down pointers and speak impromptu or just like learn the speech. You can have a paper with you, but you can't read from it all the time.
Okay. So, the topic will definitely be related to education only.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Avni?
Can I?
So,
Avni,
I
not
remember my
Shivansh,
doubt.
mute yourself.
Yeah. So you're saying that you have to justify why so and so person, why so and so person believes this thing, but how will you do that when breaking character?
I'm unable to understand you because you're moving around, so you're going away from the mic. Please settle down and then ask your question.
You said we have to justify, we have to explain that why so and so person so and so person is actually going to support this thing.
Okay, I got your question. I got your question. You're basically saying that how will I explain that Mahatma Gandhi would think like that when he's not alive to substantiate, right? So that happens through logic, right? You can say that somebody who believed in non-violence, somebody who came from an educated background, will definitely, Gandhi was very like learned and educated. This means that he will probably give a lot of value to education. But he might also not give value to education because he learned a lot of things by himself. When he traveled, went to the villages, when he went to South Africa, fought against the apartheid regime, those kind of things. So you can say that Gandhi would probably prioritize formal education, but not so much that life experiences will be compromised. I can prove through like the lived experiences of that person, right? Okay, Avni question.
When you said that seniors will be speaking for 6 minutes, seniors refers to grade 7, 8, and 9, right?
No, 10th to 12th.
So if we are in 9th grade, then we come in
You're-
middle.
Your middle, yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Jaidev.
So I just wanted to ask whether, as you said earlier, you cannot refer to a reference paper while you're giving your speech. But if we just make a paper with few key points for us, will it have any effect on our negative marking? Because there shouldn't be any repercussions as such.
Understandable and workable. That shouldn't be a hindrance.
So as long as we don't refer to it way too much and we just use it for key points, it's okay, right?
It's perfectly fine, yes.
Great, thanks a lot.
You're welcome, Aditya.
Yeah, good evening. Actually, I had a bit of internet connectivity issues, so I had to skip some parts in between. My queries are that I wasn't quite familiar with the 3 round concept in the qualifier. So, would there be actually 3 rounds in the qualifier itself, and you would be frequently changing the topics?
3 rounds with 3 different topics, yes.
Okay, and how much time would we get to prepare for the same?
So you're in the senior category, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it won't be a lot of time. Like you'd probably be given like just 2 hours before you might get your profile. So like that.
All right.
Yeah. Sharayu.
Yes, I wanted to ask that if we are given a personality who isn't alive, so do we have to speak from their side with an older mindset, or how would they react if they already knew the things that were happening currently?
Not the older mindset. How they would react to things if they were still alive. You have to create that link.
Okay.
Okay, Harleen.
So I wanted to ask that for the 3 rounds, the topics will also change and the profile will also change?
Yes.
Okay, so all 3 throughout the day. And what time do we start?
It'll start early. I mean, it'll be early in the day. So like first half of the day. So it'll be in the morning. We will give you exact schedules and everything. But yeah, that part of the day should be booked for this.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Charvi. Charvi, do you have a question?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask if we'll be getting the 3 topics before 2 hours, like all the 3 topics for the 3 rounds.
See, we will give you the topics for the first round shortly. We will give you a proper we'll float a message specifying when your topics will be released for each round after this particular session to make it very clear for you guys. Okay, I'll add a slide to this PPT before I send it. All right.
And also about the profiles, like all the 3 profiles one day prior to the main day.
Like I said, I will share all of this, and when it will be shared through an added slide in the PPT, we will share the PPT, and that you will be able to see. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ananya. Also lower your hands if your question is cleared.
Yes. How do we introduce ourselves by saying our name or the person's name or the profile you are going to give us?
Again, introduce yourself in the most creative way possible. So like if Mahatma Gandhi would say something like, I don't know, like Vande Mataram or something, then you can probably also start like that. So it's a lot about what they would say. It's about you guessing what they might say, how they used to greet. You can
So
read about
we
it.
don't have to say our name while.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Angad. You're on mute.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask. So, if I've only selected dramatic adaptation, do I have to attend the class tomorrow
No. You're
and
not.
day after?
Yes, if you want some practice.
Okay.
All right. Seeing no other questions, should we call it a day? You have 5 more minutes. If you have a question, please ask.
I have a
So,
question.
if for instance I get a Winston Churchill, so does that mean I can do a British accent to introduce myself?
You could try. That'll fetch you marks, the effort.
Okay. And can I use, so if I get Albert Einstein, he was German, so can I use German words or can I use words from the German language to introduce myself and in the middle of my speech?
Yes, please. Yeah, you can do that.
I can do that. Okay, thank you.
I have a doubt. Is that like for the first round qualifier, when is it's going to be on a Saturday? So where is it, and how do we have to get to it?
Can you please ask that question again?
So like for the first round of the qualifier, when is it, and when do we have to get to it? Like when, where?
We'll have it on Zoom. I don't know if this is my internet. Wait. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am, you're
please
perfect.
ask your question now. It was not audible to me clearly.
It seems like that it was an internet issue for sure.
Okay.
Excuse me, may I ask another question?
Yes, please.
So if we'll have 3 consecutive rounds and we'll frequently be changing the portfolio, so wouldn't it be difficult for us to dress up like that particular personality?
It'll be nice. It'll fetch you marks. Yes, in manner.
No, but like if we are to change the personalities after every other round, then it would be difficult for us to
It
change
would
the
be,
costumes
yeah,
as well.
which
So,
is why costumes don't have a lot of weightage. What has a weightage is like how you're able to adapt to the personality type, the gestures, how they used to talk, that kind of like a thing. So even if you're unable to change costume, for example, Einstein also, right? There's not a lot you can do. I mean, we don't expect you to buy like fancy wigs or whatever. It's okay for you to not be very like dressed up, but still like approximate their behavior in how they spoke and those kind of things.
all right.
All right. Okay, guys, I think if you have yeah,
Ma'am, all 3 rounds that we'll have, they'll all be on the same day.
all be on the same day, yes.
So that means that so we'll get 2 hours for each topic. That means it'll be 6 hours total.
It's not 6 hours. We will it will happen within a time frame. We'll let you know the schedule
Okay.
will be out. You will only only be speaking for 4 minutes, which means that a round will not last for more than 4 minutes for you, right? Technically.
No.
So 3 rounds is just like 4 into 3, like 12 minutes.
Is it going to be like the selected ones keep going, or everyone will keep on?
No. Qualifiers everybody will participate in, and then according to how you score in these 3 rounds, you will either be eliminated or taken forward to like the out rounds in IIT Bombay. All right, Avni, yes.
Oh, will it be that we have 2 hours to prepare all 3 topics, or do we have?
We'll
2
give you an
hours
update. We will give you an update on topic release and motion release soon.
No, not that. So will we get 2 hours total for all 3 topics, or will we get 2 hours each?
Just 1 second. I think the internet. Yes, please repeat your question.
Yeah, so I was saying that you said that we get 2 hours to decide the speech, and then we have to say it. And since there are 3 rounds, so will we get 2 hours per round?
No, this is what I'm saying, right? I will make all of these clarifications separately after this session. You will receive updates about this. All right. Are there any other questions, guys?
Yes, I had a question. If we get selected until the final round, then will we get to watch the other competitions take place?
We'll tell you about the rules for spectating. It depends on a lot of factors. Spectators are also like, it's dependent on whether or not participants are comfortable having spectators in the room. So we can't confirm that right now.
All right, thanks.
I had a doubt about other 3 qualifying rounds are the same day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. Recording will be shared. Ananya, yes. Are there any questions? Okay, if there are none, I think we can call it a day. Yes, Sharayu.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible? Hello?
Yeah, yes, now.
Oh, okay. I'll just repeat my question. Does everyone have to participate in all 3 qualifying rounds before we get the results, like whether we're selected or eliminated?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. If you
with
drop in
like
one
a
of the rounds, it will impact your total average, right? You'll get
So
a
it's
0.
not as if if we don't pass or qualify round 1, we're not allowed to participate in round 2 or anything like that.
No. That's not the thing. If you're very confident about getting like 10 on 10 on like 30 on 30 in the other rounds that you're going to attend, then you can drop a round. That's not an issue.
Okay, ma'am. So it's not like a weeding out system, as in,
No.
the more rounds okay.
Even if you
Okay.
have 2 rounds of qualifiers that you attended, it's like we will have you qualify if you have decent enough average.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're
Excuse
welcome.
me.
Yeah.
So if I prepare a speech, then do I have to by heart it, or then I just read it on the screen?
Sharayu, I'm clear. I have already cleared these questions multiple times. You are supposed to not read because you have marks for manner, and reading it off a page is not advisable. You can have key points that you have on a paper. You can use a palm card for that. That will not be punished. Like in terms of like mark. Who all will receive a certificate? Yeah, participation certificate everybody receives. Achievement certificate is based on you going to Bombay after qualifying. Aditya. All right. Okay.
If we have more queries, where can we ask it?
You can ask me right now.
No, if we have queries after the session.
Be a little louder.
If we have queries after the session.
If you have queries after the session, then you can ask on the WhatsApp group.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. With that, I think we've come to an end of the session.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So if I want to add a little about the Hydra, so do I have to talk about the Hydra from, for example, Gandhiji's point?
No, I mean, you don't have to insert the Hydra anywhere. You don't have to particularly talk about Hydra.
So it's just like a reference.
Yeah, it's just like a reference to for you to be able to like understand. Okay. The theme. Okay, guys. Also about motion release and topic release, we will share a WhatsApp message on the group. Okay. So when it will be shared, when the motions will be out, when will the profiles be out, all other clarification I will make after this session. So please like be on the lookout for that on the WhatsApp group. Is that clear? Cool. All right. All right, then I'll see you tomorrow if you're participating in other formats as well. If you're only participating in dramatic adaptation, I will see you day after tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.